ladies and gentlemen, finally there has been some action as Delhi deals with this unprecedented airpocalypse. After a sustained Mirror Now campaign where we on the Urban Debate had put authorities on the mat demanding answers to why stage 3 of the graded response action plan was not enforced despite the AQI crossing 400, the CAQM has now finally this evening given the go-ahead for GRAP 3 to be enforced. So first and foremost, what does this mean for Delhiites? Well, construction and demolition activities will halt and non-essential mining will be suspended. Restrictions will also be placed on non-electric, non-CNG and non-BS6 diesel interstate buses. Primarily, primary schools may shift to online classes and water sprinkling on major roads will be increased to mitigate dust pollution. Unfortunately, in a move symptomatic of how belatedly our Netas act, this is too little and too late because Delhi now warrants invoking phase 4 of GRAP, not phase 3. As we speak, the air quality of Delhi is 456, which means it's now in the severe plus category. According to the CAQM's own guidelines, and the AQI of above 440 simply calls for the imposition of GRAP 4. So why is the CAQM hesitating to do what needs to be done? But as they say, der aaye durust aaye, given how authorities were dilly-dallying on even imposing GRAP 3 till this evening, it's small mercy that they have finally decided to act. First, it was the CAQM last evening, and then the Delhi government today morning. All were hesitant to even go this far, instead putting their faith in the wind gods. Listen in to what Delhi's Environment Minister said today.
34.97% जो पोल्यूशन में कंट्रीब्यूशन है दिल्ली के, वो जो एनसीआर के डिस्ट्रिक्ट हैं दिल्ली से सराउंडिंग सटे हुए, उसमें 34% कंट्रीब्यूशन है। केंद्र सरकार को नेतृत्व लेकर के एनसीआर के राज्यों में जितने एरियाज हैं, एनसीआर के बाहर जो सराउंडिंग डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स हैं, इनका एक ज्वाइंट एक्शन प्लान बनाना पड़ेगा। प्रदूषण का स्तर केवल भारतीय जनता पार्टी के दफ्तर से प्रेस रिलीज जारी करके कम नहीं होगा।
So, ladies and gentlemen, we've gone from ambitious plans to counter pollution, from odd even to even cloud seeding to induce artificial rain, to literally praying for the wind speeds to pick up. Even the Supreme Court is concerned. And the amicus curiae today has sought an urgent hearing, which, by the way, will now be heard on Monday. That's how urgent it was. Essentially, while Delhi is in distress, authorities are under no stress to act. And so, the airpocalypse goes on. As we speak, there is some breaking news coming in, thankfully, this breaking news coming in, and this is a Mirror Now impact. Delhi's Chief Minister Atishi has finally tweeted. She is saying due to rising pollution levels, all primary schools in Delhi will be shifting to online classes until further notice. Finally, after 2 days of air quality in the national capital being 450 plus, Delhi has decided to shift schools to online mode, which is great. It could have been done 48 hours ago. Charu Pragya is national spokesperson of the BJP. Vimlendu Jha is an environmentalist, and Dr. Akashdeep Muni is a political analyst. Joining us on the broadcast, Sanjay Hegde is a senior advocate, joining us on the broadcast as well. Vimlendu Jha, correct me if I'm wrong, but at 456, GRAP 4 should be kicking in, which means you are at a situation where the air you are breathing is so toxic you should not be stepping out of your house. And yet all we have today is GRAP 3 and an announcement this evening that schools are being shut. For 48 hours, for the last 2 days, children have gone to school wearing masks, breathing 450. Finally, when the wind gods have not heard your prayers, you have been forced to बड़ी मुश्किल से चलो GRAP 3 लगा देते हैं और बच्चों को स्कूल नहीं भेजते. What does this show you? What does this show the citizens of Delhi?
See, I think that two things, Shreya. One is that, it's not just 2 days of severe air quality, because these are all mere numbers. Actually, the air quality has been in very poor category, around 370 for last 15 days, and last 2 days, the air quality has been severe plus, which is almost and this is by the CPCB meters that we're talking about. Reality is that the private air quality monitors that we have in Delhi, they're actually talking about air quality index almost being 800 to 900 in that sense. Say we need to believe only CPCB data, and that too is very severe, which is severe plus in that sense. And despite that, CAQM, last 2 days, they were wait and watch mode. They were saying that this is episodic and therefore we don't need to act. I think it's high time that the two institutions, one, the Supreme Court of our country as well, all this while there's half of the hearing, although governance is not the responsibility of the Supreme Court, they've only been focusing on stubble burning. And stubble burning, there's no data at all for last decade to really prove that stubble burning is the main contributor to the air pollution crisis that we actually have in Delhi-NCR. That's one. Two is also to ask questions and difficult questions, and not just asking questions in terms of commentary, but hold people responsible, which is the institutions of governance, the executive and the legislature, or people who are actually manning so-called Delhi's air. There's nothing. Imagine CAQM, which was reprimanded by Supreme Court Justice Oka and others, but there's very little that has happened. Right now, imagine today, while you and I speak, the air quality levels are almost nearing 500, and we still, after so much effort and wait, and only as an emergency measure. By the way, we should not feel very, very happy with emergency measures. GRAP is not a solution. GRAP is just like, what to do. You just put someone in ICU. You're putting a city into ICU in a protection while you're not even doing anything protective. There's nothing protective, and Atishi very grandstandingly saying this is the least that she could have done is shut down the schools, and the least that the Environment Minister of India,
this should have happened
the Union government
48
should
hours
have
ago.
done, would have spoken up, or the Health Minister. I do not know where the central government ministers are or the Environment Minister is, and we just right now we have normalized 500 AQI as if it's all okay. Life is going to be okay, and this is so tragic. This is criminal. And I'm sure Mr. Hegde will add voice here that when 1.5 million people die in a country because of air pollution, when air quality index is around 500, the political dispensation across party lines, be it central government, state, or municipality, they don't give a damn.
I'll get Mr. Hegde in just a bit. I'll just get Mr. Hegde in just a bit. But the fact is that many people say that GRAP in itself is a scam and a sham. Absolutely. More than anything else. Dr. Akashdeep Muni, ideas तो बड़े हैं. Ideas हैं odd even, ignition, engine off, engine on. हम cloud seeding भी कर देंगे, artificial rain भी कर देंगे, biodecomposers. 500 ideas over the last 10 years, and nothing seems to work. My point is, why was the Delhi government hesitating even to impose GRAP 3? I mean, yesterday and today we were told, don't worry, wind conditions ho jayenge achhi and the pollution will blow away. Did anyone think that if wind conditions didn't improve, what would happen? And that's exactly what happened. Wind conditions didn't improve today. So AQI levels remained at 450 plus. Depending on the wind cannot be a plan now, Dr. Akashdeep Muni.
See, Shreya ji, GRAP is imposed only when the situation becomes serious. So imposing of GRAP is good and at this point in time. But my moot point is that regarding the figures you showed, that more than 30% of pollution was due to stubble burning in Delhi, and 29 due to pollution from other states. Now I want to quote some figures to you regarding the stubble burning. From October 1st to 13th November, as per the data, stubble burning happened in 2022 is 82,000, and in 2024 is 10,000. So it has come from 80,000 to 10,000, a 700% reduction. Interestingly, in Uttar Pradesh, the stubble burning cases have gone up from 1,271 in 2022 to 2,100 in 2024. So there the stubble burning cases are going up many folds. while in Punjab it has come down. Now, why that particular 30% is also happening? Agar 70% kam hua hai, why that 30% is also happening? It should not happen. I want to drag your attention to one such fact that Honorable Supreme Court asked the central government that what you are doing to incentivize farmers to stop stubble burning, in which Punjab government had to provide 2,000 rupees and Delhi central government will be providing 2,500 rupees, 4,500 rupees per acre to not burn stubble. Interestingly, in the Honorable Supreme Court, the central government denied that we will provide not a single penny for stopping stubble burning. This was the same thing they did in doing the biomass reduction in biomass burning, where biomass was to be used in production of electricity. Interestingly, what happens is that
Dr.
while we
Akashdeep
talk
Muni,
on pollution
essentially you
every
are
year,
saying
the main
हमारी
question is
कोई
that
गलती
क्या
नहीं है,
pollution को erase करने के लिए हम serious है? Central government
हमारी
लग
कोई
नहीं रही
गलती
है
नहीं है,
serious.
गलती बाकी सबकी है ना? Essentially what you are saying is गलती हमारी नहीं है, गलती बाकी सबकी है. Now as far as these figures that you are seeing on the screens, this is government, these are government figures, right? Number one. Number two, very importantly, these figures keep changing. For example, yesterday the contribution of stubble burning to pollution in Delhi was only about 18%. So this changes almost every day. There are factors that are in your hands as well, na? Akashdeep Muni.
Exactly my point.
They are in the hands of the Aam
Exactly
Aadmi
my
Party.
point.
Like for example, transport in the national capital. The fact also is that बाकी सब कुछ नहीं कर, बाकी सबकी गलती और हमारी गलती नहीं है, then at least the least the Delhi government can do is to step out and say we acknowledge that air quality is so bad, this is an emergency, we need to shut down schools. This should have happened 48 hours ago. They should have publicly asked the CAQM to impose GRAP 3 and GRAP 4. They have not done it. Yes, I agree. The caveat is that it is CAQM's responsibility to invoke GRAP 3, GRAP 4, whatever, not the Delhi government's. But the Delhi government is, I mean, the Aam Aadmi Party has been selected and elected by the people of this city. And they will be accountable. आप कितना बोल लें हमारी गलती नहीं है, they will be accountable. And they will have to make more noise about pollution, which they don't. But Sanjay Hegde, is that part of the problem? आप pollution और दिल्ली की बात करें, everything comes down only to stubble burning. I'll come to you, Charu, in just a bit. But is that part of the problem? Or is the problem that no one wants to acknowledge what great a crisis we face? Because
Well, yes.
frankly, the numbers we get are very dodgy as far as I'm concerned.
Well, failure to acknowledge the problem is the biggest impediment. And praying for a change of wind direction, praying for rain is no solution. We basically have to acknowledge that there are certain times in Delhi with the onset of winter that pollution will get out of hand if things go unpoliced, unchecked. We have politicized everything. We've politicized whether it's the Delhi government's problem, whether it's the central government's problem, whether it is the neighboring states' problem. And as citizens also, we have not been very good citizens. We insist on burning firecrackers just before, which we know will add to the problem. But that has also got politicized. You must realize that Delhi is a city which is almost on the edges of the desert. You've also more or less got all the windbreaks away, or the Aravalis are being slowly massacred. And at this particular point of time, with stubble burning, which is a substantial part of the problem, you are not in a position to bring that particular monthly problem to a solution. We also have other things which add. Vehicular pollution is a huge load. Construction is also a huge load. Reducing, we somehow now have a consensus that it's only after pollution gets out of hand that we will reduce all these things. We will stop construction for a while. We will go into odd even, and we will make these ineffectual attempts to mitigate um, crop burning. I think that the first step is not only acknowledgement, but please tell us well in advance. In November, around this time, this is likely the problem. These are the things that we are doing. These are the things we expect citizens to be doing. There is no planning in advance. There is only symptomatic treatment and running around like headless chickens.
Mr. Hegde, can I tell you then the Earth and Sciences Ministry on its website actually has an early warning system that told us what was going to happen on 10th of November, 11th of November and 12th of November. So it's not like we didn't know what was coming. We knew what was coming. We simply chose to look away because I think politicians are also comfortable in the fact कि 4 दिन लोग चिल्लाएंगे, 3 दिन न्यूज़पेपर में हेडलाइन आएगी, 2 दिन टीवी पे डिबेट होगी, and then of course once the air clears up, everyone will forget. Charu Pragya, but Delhi and its pollution simply cannot be the headache of the Aam Aadmi Party. The fact is there is something called the CAQM, which is the watchdog for pollution for the Delhi-NCR region, right? It reports to the central government. How is it the central government invariably is completely silent? How is it that the environment minister of this country, Bhupender Yadav, will never be seen coming out and speaking about pollution in Delhi and what they are doing and what they hope to do and what they plan to do? Kuch nahi. It's almost like, you know, the central government doesn't want to have anything to do with Delhi or anything to do with India's national capital. आप पल्ला कैसे झाड़ सकते हैं भाई? देश की कैपिटल है.
Sure, good evening. I'm going to be completely apolitical when I discuss the issue of pollution in Delhi. We live here. We are breathing this poison. We are all smoking around 30 cigarettes a day if we are breathing this air. That's the situation in Delhi. Our life expectancy is down by a minimum of 12 years if we reside in this city. I can go on. And yes, I agree with you. The onus of fixing this problem cannot just lie on one political party or one government alone. The central government should step in, but many attempts have been made to do that in the past. Central government, Supreme Court, I can go on, and I will give you data why I'm saying this. Let's go back to 1998. 1998, the Supreme Court said Delhi needs at least 10,000 buses. The largest contributor to air pollution in Delhi, especially at this time, is vehicular traffic. And we can break it down. We can go down from traffic to burning of garbage. We can talk about stubble burning. We can talk about all other issues. But let's begin with the fact that vehicular pollution is the largest contributor. 10,000 buses was decided by the Supreme Court in 1998. After that, in 2018, affidavit was filed by Delhi Sarkar, Aam Aadmi Party Sarkar, to the High Court, stating that looking at the current amount of commuters we have in Delhi, we need around 11,000 buses. This is in 2018. Calculating that till today, we need minimum 15,000 buses, probably more. You know how many buses Delhi has? 3,000. 3,000 buses. You know the number of buses which break down every single day on the roads of Delhi? Over 80. You know the amount of unutilized green cess funds that Delhi government has? It's around 1,200 crore. 1,200 crore. Why can Delhi government not buy some buses and ply them on the roads? DTC routes are systematically being reduced instead of increased. People have no choice. We have to get to work. What will people do? You'll take a car, you'll take your bike, and that emits pollution. It's a problem. The second largest contributor to pollution in Delhi is burning of garbage. And I'm not just talking about kahin garbage burn ho raha hai. There are these incinerators which, in the name of creating energy from waste, are burning at a pace which is beyond toxic. Why has Delhi government not taken any action over this? We cannot control air which is coming in from other states. I don't want to get into the data of nearly 4,000 fires burning in the state of Punjab, and Aam Aadmi Party actually not talking about Punjab, skipping an entire state. Moving on to the next one, and pretending.
And the maximum number of fires, Charu, that are burning are in the state of Madhya Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh's count has also gone up. So this is what happens, right? It invariably gets reduced to BJP versus Aam Aadmi Party.
No, it is not BJP versus Aam Aadmi Party. This is only about actionable things. Like I said, I broke it down to the reasons and how do you fix these reasons? How do you get the cars off the road? You cannot do it by just randomly saying odd even karke dekh lete. You cannot randomly say that people are not supposed to go to work. You need to take action, right? Another thing is that every alternate day we hear these statements from Aam Aadmi Party. There was once upon a time these smog towers were advertised. One smog tower was put up. Can I ask where is that smog tower today? Because most recently I heard Delhi CM Atishi ji say that now we are getting in smog guns. Arey gun hai, tower hai, but hai kahan? Are they even working? Are they even functional? Or we are all.
But the point is that the smog tower was ordered by the Supreme Court of India to be placed, and they were big flop shows. That's my point. For the last 40 years, the Supreme Court has been trying to clean up Delhi's air. They have not succeeded. So we are in yet another year. Yet again, AQIs are crossing 450. My problem is this. Through the year, no one acts. Even the Supreme Court doesn't seem to take much notice. Till suddenly, the air gets to what it is. Just look at Agra. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Agra. Can you see the Taj Mahal? You can barely make out the Taj Mahal. This was Agra this morning. This is how bad things are. We are talking about Delhi. It's not just Delhi. It's North India. And I get a sense of deja vu every time I do this debate. But the fact is that if you know that bad air days are coming, at least shut schools. At least ensure that cars are off roads. What is the problem with work from home for industries that can actually afford to do it? Just put that in place so at least the next 3, 4, 5 days will be clean and people will not be breathing this air that is making them sick. Sanjay Hegde, we leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. Dr. Muni, thank you very much. Vimlendu Jha, thank you. And Charu Pragya, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, it's a wrap from me. Thank you for watching. Shreya Upadhyay is joining you at the top of 9 with all the day's top stories. Do stay with us.